Hello, everybody, and welcome to the summer edition of Design Thinking and Methodology. So I got some slides. They're actually just my visual aids, but I'll pull them up. So welcome, overview and orientation. Okay, this is a 10-week course. Okay, if you're used to 15-week courses, this goes faster. If you've been taking 7.5-week courses, you get a little more time. So it may work out for your benefit. Okay, this is a 3,000 level course. So any course you've taken at Front Range, if it has not been at a 3,000 level, what you can really expect is more work, more work for you to do, more reading, more in detail, more revising, more editing, just more. Okay, because you've now jumped over to upper division level courses. Okay, so the hours in class. Now, I'm going to tell you what the difference is between like face-to-face classes where you sit in campus and this kind of course. Okay, the hours you would normally sit in class, whether it would be 3 hours a week during the 15-week session, or whether it'd be like 4.5 for a 10-week session, those hours instead, where you'll be spending those are, first of all, announcements. Always come into the course and go to announcements. There will always be some kind of additional information or a video or something that helps along with the week or the unit or the assignment. And these are the equivalent of if we were doing a face-to-face class, this is what I would be telling you at the beginning of the class. I'd say, okay, this is what we need to look at. Or these would be the additional things that I'd be telling you because, again, we're in class and I know what's going on in the class. So I'd be giving you some additional information beyond just what's listed in the My Courses shell. So always look for this. So it is a requirement to read the announcements, go to the announcement links, and watch the videos. There's essential information there. Now, the other thing you'll be doing is you'll be doing discussions with your peers in Discord. Okay, we have four discussions during the course. Okay, when it comes to discussions, there is a rubric for each and every discussion. This will tell you what you should be doing so that you can earn all the points. And the thing about discussion, this is really about your peers. So what your responses to your peers should help them. Your responses to your peers, wow, yay, awesome, great, nice, good job, makes everybody feel good. But what you're really doing with your peers, they're your colleagues. So you are sharing additional resources with them. You are asking them questions. You are helping them focus on whatever it is they're trying to communicate out. Because this course, Design Thinking, is about communicating. It's about sharing ideas. It's being persuasive. So let your peers know whether or not they're being persuasive. And if they're not, let them know where they're not being persuasive and give them some suggestions. This would be the same thing you'd be doing if you were working on a design team. And you will actually be working on a design team because there is group work in this class. Right after the census date, we'll be put into groups and you'll be working with your group members, your colleagues, and you'll also be working with a client. So these are how you'll be spending the hours that you would normally be spending if you were sitting in a classroom. Now, design thinking and methodology. There's a lot of different definitions of design thinking out there. This is what we're going to be using. And be very specific. I'm going to tell you, it changes the word and the vocabulary if you put ER on it. If you put designer on it, it becomes something completely different. So make sure when you're putting things in, you put design and not designer. Okay? Design thinking is a non-linear, iterative meaning you keep editing it, you keep doing it, you keep working on it, process that teams use to understand users, challenge assumptions, redefine problems, and create innovative solutions to prototype and test. Okay? While design thinking is an ideology based on designer workflow for mapping out stages of design, and I will tell you the first one we'll be looking at is from Stanford University, from their design school, and it has five specific stages. Stanford likes to call them modes when it comes to workflow and and designing. So its purpose is to provide all professionals with an innovative process to develop creative solutions to problems, design related or not. And so what I put up here that this part of it really discusses how design thinking does not only belong with a with a design team. Design thinking has reached way beyond that, and lots of businesses use it as a way to do workflow or to develop products or to develop projects or to put on events. They use it in lots of different ways. Okay, so I pulled this screenshot straight out of my courses. So when you're in my courses, under resources, go to the PDF here. It's called Bootcamp Bootleg. It's a packet. It's a PDF. It's 47 pages. Start reading and looking at it immediately. In unit one, while you will be doing different portions and activities in the different units, in unit one, which is 2 weeks, read the whole thing. Make notes. Start learning this. This is the major text for the course. Now, bringing this up, there's no charge. It is an open educational resource. What I'm bringing up here is the license that's on it. It's called a Creative Commons license. The reason I'm bringing it up here is because the projects that you'll be doing in the course, we're going to have you put a Creative Commons license on it also. So this is one of the first places. If you haven't been looking for it, this is where it shows up. And this allows us to use it as long as it says no commercial, so we can't sell it. and what also it says here is we have to give attribution. And this screenshot of where it came from with the license, it is that kind of attribution. Okay, when you get into the packet, for the design thinking, which is the first methodology we'll be looking at, we're going to be looking at others, but the first one we're going to look at, it has these 5 different modes. They could also be called stages. Okay, now these 5 stages of the workflow are empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And so all the activities when it comes to your individual project you'll be doing is you'll be being asked to go into that PDF, read it, take notes. And here's the big thing to take notes on. The big thing to take notes on are, as you're reading it, make sure you mark what the empathize activities are. What are the define ones? What are the ideate? What are the prototype? And what are the test? This is you reading the material and assessing which one it fits into. And the reason I'm saying that is because this PDF does not have a table of contents where it says, okay, page 10 to 15 is empathize, and then 15 to 20 is define. So part of what you're going to be doing as part of this course is applying relevant design. And to apply that relevant design and implement it and use it, you're going to have to, from this PDF, define. You're going to have to look at it and make a decision about what the empathize activities are. How do you know what they are? You read about what empathize is. Go ahead and make those notes yourself so that you can refer back to them. Okay, design thinking. Also, I'm going to tell you something that's pretty different from other courses. And even if you're taking the 3,000 level or 4,000 level business courses, the difference is in this course, we iterate. So it's not one and done, okay? Meaning you'll get feedback. It's expected that you will take that feedback and change it for the next iteration or the next assignment. And I mean, we're points based. So what does that mean, points based? Well, if you didn't take those suggestions, you didn't put it in there, then you won't earn the points on the next assignment either. So what I'm saying is, in this course, integrate the feedback. You'll be getting feedback from your peers, especially in Discord. Expect a lot of questions from me, and also a lot of comments. And another thing that's different about when you're going and doing this through iterations, it's not going to be that everything's going to be perfect the first time. You're not going to find every possible solution the first time. And you'll really find that out as you work with the clients. So expect that questions will continually to be asked, and that you will continue to edit and to revise in this course. Okay, yeah, I threw that up there so you can see it. Okay, so here are some things like found this. How do you encourage a designer to iterate more? And I thought this was a new question. It's a, you know, that designers often think that their first one is the best one. Well, as designers, just be ready to do more, to come up with lots of different solutions, lots of different suggestions. And I threw this in so everybody could see iterative design. And for us using design thinking, prototype uh, prototype is very important for us. And when it comes to, if we're using Stanford University's D School one, the prototyping is the fourth mode or stage. So when we're using this design thinking, it'll be empathize, it'll be define, it'll be prototype, and then it'll be test. And then this is a suggestion, and so you can start thinking about it. This okay. This is somebody who is answering the thing and saying, like this is a design team leader, and they're saying, oh, I didn't have them do crazy eights. And crazy eights are a fun little thing where you've got 8 minutes to come up with 8 different ideas, 8 different sketches, 8 whatever it is you need to do. It's a great way to get more ideas there. It's also a great way to make sure that, and I'll talk more about AI also, that you're not cognitively offloading things to AI instead of coming up with ideas. Okay, and then this is the it is a design sprint method. We will be talking about design sprints a lot during the summer semester. Today I just finished facilitating 2 1-week design sprints. They're a lot of fun, a lot of work, and they take a lot of energy. Okay, so now let's talk about design thinking in business. I pulled this back up because what I wanted to emphasize was that businesses have taken design thinking models, design thinking frameworks, and use them to come up with products and solutions. And a real reason why they've done this is so that people just don't jump to the solution at the end. Okay? Or they just don't throw it into AI and go, "Ooh, look, AI found the solution for me. This should be the best one out there." No, design thinking is a process. It does slow things down. It makes you think about each of the steps. It makes you do research for each of these steps. Lots of businesses use design thinking and design thinking activities for when they want new products. When they see a problem at their organization, when they want to consider doing it something new, when they want to plan a new event that they haven't done, 20 times before. That's where design thinking comes in a lot. Okay, and design thinking in business, Harvard Business Review talks about it a lot. And as it says here, it's useful for change management. So perhaps the thing that needs to be done that needs the design thinking activity is a change. And I just pulled some other titles so you can see over the past like 10 to 12 years, design thinking has gotten more and more popular. And then like I said, up on the Stanford University website and their D School, which D stands for design, they have lots of great tools. They have lots of great things that you can take a look at. We will be using their bootcamp bootleg as our original framing of it. So, what does a design thinking activity look like? Well, you end up with a lot of sticky notes and index cards, and smart, and, and pencils and pens and anything else anyone could do anything with. This is one at the University of Colorado Boulder. Boulder has a great couple of I shouldn't say couple of rooms, like more like a floor. It's called the Idea Forge. It's in their College of Engineering. It's a great place where those whiteboards in the background, they're on wheels. You can move them everywhere. This is an example of basically focus groups when it comes to virtual reality. And yes, people are crowded together, people are moving around. Here's another one. This was being done in downtown Denver. When it comes to design activities, you use everything. During these things, you use every single space that you can. You could use walls, you can use floors, wherever you can think of, you just go ahead and do it. If people have to sit on the floor, sit on the floor. Here's another example of one. They are in the prototype stage. This is back in the engineering college up at the University of Colorado Boulder, the Idea Forge. Oh, and by the way, the Idea Forge is available to the public. It's not just available just to people who go to University of Colorado Boulder. This is a bunch of us building what's called a light board. And so we were at the prototype stage here. How do we build it? Like how much would it cost if we would build it? How much would it cost if we sent it out for someone to manufacture it for us? So there's like the prototype, there's the prototype, and we're testing it already. But I wanted to show you that so you got some idea about that. But for everything that you're doing in this course, you are working for the BCI design group. Okay. And you're doing this in two major ways. Okay. We're expecting that everything you do, every communication, every project is going to be judged on a professional business level. Okay, so when you get the rubric, it will state when it comes to the feedback, whether this is fine, this could go to, this could go to your supervisor, this could go to the director, this could go to the client. It will also say if there's formatting problems or typos that a supervisor would send back. The feedback will also, because our learning outcomes include sharing ideas. Our learning outcomes include, persuading, being part of an interdisciplinary group, communicating. It will stay if what you've written or if what you've done a video on does not allow for that persuasion or that communication, or if it would have to be redone. So in the rubrics and in the feedback, expect that, because that is exactly what happens in the workplace. You would be told, okay, you just need to format it, you need to make some changes. Okay. Or you would be told you need to start over. I don't understand what you're trying to put forward. I will tell you, bosses will also check and see if everything is factually correct. So expect all of that kind of feedback. Okay. So for the course, you are a newly hired associate for the BCI design group. So everything we're having you do is things that a newly hired associate would end up doing. First of all, they'd be on a cloud-based platform where they had to share things with their team. It's very likely that someone couldn't make it to a meeting where they were giving a part of a presentation or doing a pitch, and so that part would be recorded or would need to be shared with other people. You'll be working with a client, you'll be working with clients, you'll be working with other team members. So you're doing this all as a newly hired associate. So as you're working for this design group for our semester, the first thing you're going to do is an individual project. That individual project is a pitch to the BCI design group, and what you're pitching is a design thinking workshop where we will go to the client and say, we think we can provide you this service and here's why. So your individual project will be working on that whole pitch and approved by the supervisor. I'm functioning as the supervisor. I will give you feedback. You'll be posting things in Discord. Your peers will be giving you feedback on that also. The second thing, and this is approved by the client and stakeholders, is a design activity plan. And this is your group project. You will have an actual client. The client will have stakeholders. Now, stakeholders are people that the client needs to be able to put on the project, to be able to do the project. They need their buy-in. They might need money from them. They might need support. They might need staff hours. But most of the time, a client, it won't just be one person who's making the decision. Chances are there will be other people who will have to be persuaded. And getting back to our learning outcomes, an interdisciplinary group, your client might be an account manager. Your client might be the fiscal person, or it might be reversed. And there's other people that they have to usually also run the project by. So you're going to be thinking about this whole process. Okay, so for BCI design group and this course, there is always a client. Okay, so when you're picking your individual project, you are not picking yourself. Okay, you are picking a client who you're going to have to pitch it to your supervisor, and then the BCI group, the directors are going to decide, should we contact the client? Is it worth it? So that's how you should think about it. So if you're running your own business, this individual project is not about running your business. Okay. This is working with a client. Okay. And the other thing you should know about this, okay, when it comes to design, it's always creativity with constraints. And here's why. Because designers are working for either their own business or someone else's business. They're always going to have to look at how the end user is going to do it and how the client wants it. So it's creativity, but there are constraints with it. Okay? So, and the constraints part, that's the part that moves it really, BCI being business in the creative industry. So it's always going to be thinking about who's going to use this, who's going to use this, who's going to buy this, who wants this service. So that's the business part. So creativity with constraints. And like it says, create, revise, review. Okay, so for your individual project, you will be choosing an organization, a company, a city, a college, etc., and pitch a proposal. For this proposal, you will be leading the design workshop. So you're taking the leadership role here, okay? And as a supervisor, I will be giving you feedback on whether or not this can be sent off to our BCI director, okay? Next thing, you cannot make up information, okay? Absolutely, you cannot make up information. Any good supervisor is going to fact check you on most of the things, okay? And I will tell you, I will fact check you on most of the things that you put out there. So always be ready to say where you found that information. Now, so this is basically the same thing, except the last two. Last two things are you're keeping the same client throughout the whole course. Okay, so you're going to do a series of assignments. Okay, and these series of assignments build up to your final project. So you can't decide at the end to go, well, I've done those assignments, but I'm going to switch clients. You have to keep the same client. As the supervisor, I will approve that client or not approve the client and tell you if you need to get more information and things like that. So same client, full course, final project, same client as a client in assignments. Okay, the group projects. Groups will be formed after the census date. Okay, we're using your Pichakucha to find out who you are and what kind of a team member you would be and what strengths you would bring to a team. So I'm going to assign the teams after the census date. There will be a client interview. You will have to meet either virtually or face-to-face with the client. The group will come up with a team charter. There will be group work. You will have to get client feedback. You'll have to get stakeholder feedback, and then you'll hand it in the plan at the end. Okay, so our individual, these all build into it. Like I said, it's the same project. What you do in assignment 1 is going to lead to that final project. So you'll be building this up throughout the 10 weeks, assignment 1 through 5. In the final hand-in, there's also some additional requirements, but at least 75% of the individual plan that you put in at the end will have come from the first 5 assignments. And again, same client. Okay, our technology use. We are using Discord. Discord is a cloud-based team platform. There are a lot of creative companies, especially AI and art companies. So, image and video, generative AI, they set up a Discord. They don't set up a place where you can email them. you have to join their Discord to be able to use their product. We will be using YouTube. So make a YouTube channel. Everything that you will be posting, however, will be unlisted. So only people in the course will be able to see it. You need a webcam or a phone, something that will record your audio and video that can be uploaded up into YouTube. If you're going to use a phone, make sure you use it well and it looks professional, because that's the standard that we'll be doing. As far as AI, don't use it unless the assignment or activity specifies you can use it. Okay? I will specifically say you can use AI for this project. Okay? And I will tell you, don't use it for Discord. Don't use it for your posting. Don't use it for your responses. Okay? And when you look at my discussion rubric, it'll specifically say don't use AI, and also what are the indicators I'll be using to tell if it's AI. Okay. Asking for tech help. Okay. You can ask for that in Discord, but what we're going to want from you is tell us what research you have already done. So if a tool is new to you, look up how to use the tool. Go to that website, take some time finding out how to use the tool. So if you need tech help, tell us what research you have already done. And tell us if you did a search on how to troubleshoot what was going on. And if you did, what did you find? Tell us what YouTube videos you already watched and what research you did on the website platform or the technology, and what answers did you find. And the reason why we're having you do this is we want you, and this is a student learning outcome for the college. We want you to be able to go to platforms. We want you to be able to see how to use those platforms. And we want you to be able to look up information on how to use those platforms. So if you're asking for tech help, remember, tell us what you've already done. Okay? Because otherwise, if you just say, hey, I want to know how to do this, we don't know all the circumstances about it. We don't know what you've tried. We don't know anything about your computer. We don't know anything about did you switch browsers? Did you try it on another browser? So when it comes to this, what we'll have you do is we'll have you do some research on your own and then ask for the help. Okay? Next. All assignments require original work. Do not use material created in other courses. Okay? But it also includes if you've been enrolled in this course before, do not resubmit what you already have. Okay? You need new material. Also, all communication should be business professional. And so that's about it. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to seeing you online. Bye-bye.